Coming up on this episode of MSCB News, we look at what makes a great story.
Then we take a look at the West Mesquite boys varsity soccer and basketball teams.
And we see how this year's senior class compares to past years.
And all this and more coming up on MSCB News.
Welcome to MSEB, live from the TEC studios.
Good afternoon, Mesquite ISD. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Asia Scarbo.
And I'm George Kesabay, and you're watching MSCB Live, a show produced by the MISD students and brought to you live from the TEC studios.
We'll bring you the top stories from throughout the district and take an inside look at what's happening at MISD. We have a lot of stories on this episode for you today. Let's get to our first story. For our first story, we asked teachers about what it takes to make an amazing story. Let's take a look.
Hello, my name is Jacob Miller, and today we'll be interviewing teachers at Mesquite High School based on what they think makes an amazing story. First, what are the three components to any amazing story?
Other than the beginning, middle, and end, I think three main components to a great story is number one, creativity and originality. Number two, I would say the storyline needs to be somewhat entertaining, something that reaches the audience. And number three, just having passion behind what you write.
I feel the three components to an amazing story are the will to fight for your dreams, an underdog story where you overcome adversity and tragedy, and obviously a love story.
What kind of story do you feel like is overtold?
I would say the underdog story. I would say the story of underdogs, like how often you see so-and-so rose up from nothing and got it out the mud or whatnot. I feel like those stories are kind of way overtold. I'm ready to hear what's next.
Definitely a romance story. Romeo and Juliet is super overtold, overdone, exhausted, no great, yuck, a total L.
What stories aren't getting told enough?
When you make it to the top, there's always some type of struggle. So yeah, we made it there, but what about the people who are successful in their mental struggles or what they're going through or the issues that many people may think are minuscule, but things you have to face when you get into those high positions. So I think stories like that, I don't know what exactly would be the term, but stories of success and the struggles within success. I feel like those are stories that need to be told more.
We don't have enough of true stories that tell of the human will to survive, like things that inspire people. Like a story that I tell my students that's a true story is actually the true facts about like Dr. King, that he went to school at a young age, that he was a valedictorian when he was in college. Like we don't tell the true stories of what people had to overcome in order to get where they are to be successful in life. I don't think we tell the depth of people's backgrounds.
What do most writers miss out on most when telling stories?
I feel like they miss the target goal or just being creative as a whole. I feel like society and everything, like social media, puts us in a box. So when we're talking to the young writers, they tend to stick with what's new and what's popular. But what about the other stuff? And it's up to you to figure out what that is. It's up to the writer or the young writer to reach inside themselves and pull out the true creativity.
Young writers miss the love of editing, being able to edit with veracity and just fearlessness to take things out because they feel like they do it right the first time.
What's a great read for any reader?
Zora Neale Hurston, that's the author's name, and the book is called Their Eyes Are Watching God. It is a beautiful story. I feel like every young reader should read it.
Anything by Neil Shusterman, the side series or this book right here, the Unwind series, a dystology where students learn about humanity and the value of human life. It's a great story about when parents can have their children unwound and sell their body parts. So any story like that. It's a creepy story, but I totally 10 out of 10 recommend.
This has been Jacob Miller with MSCB News, signing off.
Stories are told through books, plays, movies, and TV programs. As we can see, a lot of the best ones have many things in common. West Mesquite High School boys soccer team had a great season this year. We interviewed Coach V about how they got there.
Byline or Aaron takes a byline, everybody's crashing. Delayed run from one of the sixes, smack it at the 50.
Coach Jeremiah Villarreal, also known as Coach V, a head coach for the West Mesquite soccer team, has led his team this season to 12 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie, with also a bi-district championship win in the playoffs. But how did he get here, you may ask? Well, in this news package, we'll interview Coach Jeremiah Villarreal and see how he got here this season, and see his team working day in and day out during the offseason, hoping for a successful season this year.
The main thing I changed is I stopped taking for granted the thought that they were going to know just from being a part of the program. In my mind, I was, well, you've been with me 2 or 3 years, but each year is different and things happen. So we kind of went back to square one. This is our identity. This is what we're trying to do. We're always going to breathe. We're going to track. We're going to win in the air. We're going to win 50-50s. And re-implementing and emphasizing those things to where it's second nature. It's muscle memory. Just kind of hitting those harder. I feel truly like by the time the games start, you're adjusting at that point. All the work is done. We say the hay is in the barn. You should have done so much work up to that point to where you're adjusting and improving. And I think that was one of the main things is this group worked very hard in the off season. We've been at it since summer, they'll tell you. So they're just a hardworking group overall. I'm happy for the boys. I don't, for me, I don't seek validation in the sense of wins and losses. Like when I see a young man down the road and he's graduating from college, like I'm thinking about Nestor Velasquez right now. Really proud of him. He's going to be a teacher. And the things that they do, right, and former players I've had that are in ministry, that's cool. But I'm happy for the kids because of the work that they put in, like to believe in something and talk about it. There's only one district champion in each district. And we got 8 teams in this district. And it's easy to say you want something, but when you say it out loud, everybody hears you. And we're going after it. We're breaking it out on champs. We're trying to make sure that we're seeking that #1 spot. Now we're there. The next goal is by district and then area and so on. And I was very happy to see them celebrate after the Bryan Adams game. I was happy for them because they put in so much work. I feel like we always get people's best. So again, not about validation or anything, but this is the 3rd district championship in 5 years. And so when we play a team, when I first got here, it was like, we're playing West, so you lost to West. Specifically, I remember a very well-coached Lovejoy team. The year prior to me taking over the program and the boys and stuff like that, coming together and talking about what we could accomplish. The last time they played them, it was like 6-0. Lovejoy beat us 6-0, and then we go, it's the second match of district play that first year, and we pulled 2 points on them out of the 3. The next time we get all 3 points. We pulled 5 points out of 6 from a quality program, a well-coached program, and that's when people start to think of you differently. Now we see teams celebrate a tie. We see teams, we could be playing with 8 men or 10 men, we could be playing down, and they're celebrating that. And that's cool, that's what you want. Expectations are a luxury. If people don't expect anything of you, that means you're not accomplishing anything. And so, yeah, we always get people's best all the time. Yeah, we talk about handling success. If you expect to win and you put in the work to win, you have to deal with the side of winning. And so, when you beat a team, you might beat a team 3-0 or 8-0 or whatever. You can't get too high from that win. I mean, again, our goals are ahead of us always, so we accomplish them and then we move on to the next one. So it's just about staying humble, staying hungry really, being proud but not satisfied, making sure that you always seek more, and I think they've done a really good job of that. They've kept themselves in check. The boys get along, they work for each other. I specifically remember we tied Seagoville, a very good team, we tied them 0-0, and they were the boys were, I almost want to say, distraught about it. And that's when you know they have a championship mentality.
This is Joshua Gonzalez with MSCB News.
It sounds like West Mesquite's soccer team had an amazing season. Gregory Mathis reporting at West Mesquite as well to see what their basketball team is all about. Here's the story.
Welcome to MSCB News. My name is Gregory Mathis, and today I'm going to be showing you what West Mesquite basketball is all about. Enjoy the video.
I expect for my players to come to school and be a student first, be an extension of our program on and off the basketball court. I'm from Mesquite, Texas, and I got an opportunity to come back home and coach again, and I wasn't going to turn the opportunity down. I love it here in Mesquite, and I love impacting kids here in Mesquite and help making a difference.
I got interested in basketball like early 6th grade. I really started taking it serious because football wasn't working out because I was a football player at first. But yeah.
My favorite thing about hooping with this team, the guys, how we hoop together, our competitiveness, and our bond together, how we hoop on the court as a team, how we stay locked in.
This is player called Russell Westbrook. Like, they were just inspired the game, like, and it just made me want to play it.
Actually, I would just say the guy that's our head coach at West Mesquite, it's just something about coaching that a person that can really believe in your story or your dream, and that can just help you or impact in a positive way. Helping young kids chase or reach their potential in life, not just in basketball, but in life. You see it. No, I'm joking. Probably I just want to be one of the coaches that's known around Texas as probably the winning. I want to win like 100, 130 games. But the biggest thing is getting text messages from kids 4 years after they leave high school and tell me like, hey, coach, I appreciate you being a hard coach or something like that. That's the goal.
Thank you for tuning in. This has been Gregory Mathis for MSCB News, signing out.
Congrats to the West Mesquite boys varsity team for winning district champs. There were a lot of great memories happening across the district this year. Michael Parker set out to ask some seniors if they could sing out their favorite memories. Here's the story.
Hello, this is Michael Parker, reporter for MSEB News, and this week I asked students what their favorite and best parts about this year was. Here were their responses.
I'd say the best part of this school year was probably winning the film festival for advanced audiovisual production. Because going into it, I was really unsure of who was gonna win. We had a lot of different people that I was like, whoa, their video was pretty good. They might actually be able to beat us. So that moment whenever they called our film's name and I stood up and all of my teammates stood up and we went to go like get our trophy, take our picture, that was probably the highlight of my school year, I'd say.
My favorite part of the school year was most definitely the Friday Night Lights and advanced audio video production field trips. And I really enjoyed that because it was really fun and I met a lot of new friends and I'm just giving me the nice, cool high school experience I'm supposed to have.
Best part about my senior year is probably being able to do everything that I love with some of the closest people that I've ever met.
My favorite thing this year was when we brought home the district trophy for the first time in 13 years. It was a crazy and a special moment. It really meant a lot to me.
I think my favorite part about this year was that we won district in the fall and then I qualified for regionals in the spring.
It's amazing to hear all these wonderful things that happened to students this year. I know for me, my favorite part was finally making it on the varsity tennis team. This is Michael Parker with MSCB News, signing out.
With so many things happening during senior year, I imagine it is hard to just pick one favorite memory. In our final story, Lilith Swint asked some teachers how this year's seniors compares to past classes in terms of school spirit and enthusiasm. Let's see what they had to say.
I'm Lilith Swint, and this year I'm a senior. I wanted to see how this senior class compares with others from the past in terms of general enthusiasm, school spirit, and hope for the future. Let's take a look.
I'm Molly Dersham. I teach AP Literature, AP Language, AP Seminar, and AP Research. In that time that I've been here, the enthusiasm of seniors, I think, has begun to drop off slightly. There are still some seniors that are very enthusiastic about things. I mean, they came up with their senior sunrise, senior sunset ideas, and I think that's a form of enthusiasm. But overall, I think like school spirit enthusiasm is maybe not what it used to be.
I think I'm genuinely one of the more enthusiastic people at school because I'm involved in a lot of things at school. I'm somebody who does actually enjoy school. As I said, I'm involved in a lot of clubs and extracurriculars, and I challenge myself with harder courses. So I think I'm overall more involved and more enthusiastic about school than the average student. Overall, I would say that the general population is probably not as enthusiastic as myself and the people that I choose to be friends with. I know earlier this year I was forced to go to one pep rally, and that one pep rally was not very peppy.
I'd say my enthusiasm on a daily basis when I'm at school is in a range between a 4 and a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. It just depends. Some days are good, some days are bad, but I don't really have any extreme highs or lows when it comes to school.
From what I have heard from teachers like Miss Courtney and Miss Cope and one of the art teachers, I think Miss Bruce, those younger kids that they have, the freshmen and sophomores, they are more enthusiastic about school. So I don't know if we've had we dropped and we started to come back and you guys had more school as freshmen, so you're already there, but those juniors went home in 8th grade and they've never had a normal high school year maybe until this one. So maybe they just don't know how to act. So I hope, fingers crossed, that the enthusiasm is going to do that kind of thing. And that as kids get more used to school again, that the enthusiasm, the spirit, let's go to the games, let's go to the pep rally, let's have spirit days and dress up for them. I hope all that comes back.
I feel like graduation is coming along, I'd say about as I expected, maybe a bit more existential than I thought it would. I feel like there's a little bit of dread, but I think that just comes along with like major milestones in life. I'm enthusiastic about getting into the real world and moving on from high school. I feel like when I see kids from another high school, that is when my school spirit truly shines. When I'm here, however, it doesn't really exist.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I would say my school spirit's around a 6.5. And that's just because I'm always just kind of school spirity. I have pride in what I do, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily like Mesquite High School, yeah, let's go. I think I'm just proud of myself. I would say my peers probably don't have that much school spirit. I would say the extent of which I have witnessed is everyone wearing Mesquite shirts, but that's because we go to this school and we get free shirts all the time. I would say if it came down to, hey guys, let's have a pep rally that like everyone has to go to and let's all be excited about it, no, that would not happen.
I'm Lilith Swint with MSCB News, and that's all for me. Back to the studio.
It sounds like we need to find more ways to get the school spirit up. Perhaps we can find some new traditions for students to get excited about with this new generation. That wraps this up with MSCB News. For more info on today's stories, please visit the MSCB YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook pages. Thank you for joining us today. I'm George Kesabay.
And I'm Asia Scarbo. Until next time,
stay classy, Mesquite.
This has been a presentation of MSEB, Mesquite Student Entertainment and Broadcasting, in association with the Mesquite Independent School District Career and Technical Education Department.